Hi guys, my name is Lobin Cha and I own Little Miss Korea, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple beef stir-fried noodle. And it's going to start with, I have 2 quarts of water here boiling, and I added 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Now the baking soda is for my spaghetti, and I'm doing this so it's more like a ramen texture. And this is kind of a foolproof way to always get ramen noodles. 1 tablespoon of baking soda per quart of water. So I'm going to add that in now. And I'm only making this for myself, so I'm doing not a lot. I'm using whatever was in my pantry, which is angel hair pasta. All right. Next step, get your non-stick pan. I always use a non-stick because I feel like it's the easiest to work with at home. And I'm gonna use grapeseed oil. It's got one of the highest smoke points and it's a very neutral oil. There's no taste to it. All right, so I've got, hi guys, thanks for joining. All right, I've got beef. I am using really little beef because I don't have a lot of beef right now. I didn't go out shopping recently. I'm using chopped onions. I already sliced these. I'm gonna grate some garlic right on top. My noodles are bubbling. This goes in for 6 minutes according to the box directions. You're just gonna cook it as the box tells you. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that, 501, 507. I'm gonna use some beef stock. Everybody has stuff like this in their pantry, so whatever you can find, whatever you can use, whatever's almost expiring, use that. I'm gonna use a little bit of oyster sauce, totally optional. If you're not a fan of it, I totally understand. I'm using a tiny bit of soy sauce. I'm not gonna cook this directly because you don't wanna cook soy sauce, you just wanna top it with stuff. You can cook with it, but not in my case. I'm using this very common Chinese cooking wine just to deglaze the pan after we cook the beef along with the beef stock. All right. I'm not using a ton of oil. I'm using probably a teaspoon of grapeseed oil on this. Another thing I'm gonna add to this dish, really weird but tastes delicious, I think. I'm gonna use this chopped kale mix. It's Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, kale, and chicory. All of these can be heated up and it's a really nice crunchy be the topping at the end. Add your onions in. I'm not going to use salt because I'm trying to limit my salt intake. There's salt in the soy sauce, there's salt in the oyster. So no salt on the meat or the onions today. And there's salt in the beef stock too. I'm going to lower this. I'm going to grate in about half of a large clove of garlic. I'm using a little microplane for this just because it's easier. And the garlic will cook much faster if it's pulverized like this. I'm gonna add the beef. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit, put the onions to the side. I would say this is about 1.5 ounces of flank steak that I've sliced thinly. If you want to slice it thinner than this, then freeze it in your freezer for about like half an hour until it's quite firm. Get a sharp knife and slice it through. It makes it super easy. All right, we have 2 minutes left on the noodles. Another optional step is adding crushed red pepper. I like a little bit of heat to it. I'm gonna take the cap off. All right. I would say the steak is about medium right now. I'm gonna add in the beef stock. And cooking for one, this takes start to finish less than 15 minutes if you time your water right. All right, so I'm just gonna deglaze the pan with this. And use a tiny bit of the cooking wine later on. I'm just going to use like a capful. Two cupfuls. And let that simmer out. And this is a really interesting cooking wine. It's almost sweet. Kind of like a sherry, but not as sweet as a sherry. All right, this pasta is done. I'm gonna take this off the heat and drain it. So the reason we add the baking soda into the water is because a lot of ramen noodles already are very alkaline. They use a alkaline substance while making the noodles, and that's what is the biggest difference between a regular pasta and a ramen noodle. So we're just alkalizing the water and then cooking noodles in that alkaline water. All right, so it's almost, I call this a sauce, but really, it's just reduced glaze. There's a tiny bit of pasta water left in the colander. I'm going to make sure to use that because the starch from the pasta water will really amalgamate the whole sauce and make it really thick and nice. With the heat really, really low, I'm going to add a tiny bit of oyster sauce to the side. I do want to cook the oyster sauce a tiny bit, but not too much. I'm using half a tablespoon. And the heat is low on this right now. And I'm using, this is like a finishing soy sauce. There's a lot of soy sauces you can get. If you can just get like tamari and you're gluten sensitive, that's fine. If you can just get regular Kikoma and try to get the low sodium so you can actually control your salt. But I like to take my soy sauces really seriously, and I love this finishing soy sauce just because it has like a really nice smooth flavor to it rather than like punchy and salty. All right. Really simple. Now I'm gonna add my greens. This is a salad kit that's like $5 from Costco. And I just use the greens itself. I don't ever eat the dressing. Which is kind of a waste, but. All right. So I have all of that, and underneath we have the noodles and the beef. You can see that the noodles took on kind of a darker color because I used Protein Plus. It was the only thing that I had, and it gives it like a darker color. So I'm gonna heat it up just a little bit and get these veggies a little softer, but I still want the crunch on the veggies, so I'm not gonna toss it too much in the pan. You can taste this now, and if it needs more sauce, if it needs more soy sauce, you can adjust accordingly. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat off, and I'm just gonna add not even half a tablespoon. I'm just gonna use the same measuring spoon here of sesame oil, just a tiny bit, just to get all this nice flavors mixed up. I'm taking my chopsticks in each hand to mix all of this together. And you can do this like a completely vegetarian version. Just use vegetable stocks and any protein that you would like. But honestly, this would be great with no protein. All right, I'm gonna plate this up for you guys. At this point, the onions are very caramelized, so it's soft and sweet and delicious. And I have some chopped up scallions that I bought at the grocery store. It comes in slices like this. This lasts me probably like a week if I take care of it. I rinse it once in a while too. This makes it really, really easy to garnish your anything that you're doing. All right. And this is the finished product. And truly, the noodles do taste like ramen noodles, like fresh ramen noodles. That's too much scallions. There you go. Really simple, but really filling, and it uses all the basic stuff that you have in your pantry. Maybe except for some of the Asian stuff, but you could always find substitutes for it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're staying safe and healthy. I cannot wait to go back to the market. I miss you all so much. And I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.